Hey there guys and girls! In this tutorial I want to show you how to create awesome videos with the Rockstar editor that is included in the PC version of GTA 5. This video is about more than only the controls of the editor. You'll become a gamer version of Christopher Nolan with these tips. This is a complete workflow for your machinimas and movies and stunt montages and whatever. Since the tutorial is very long and I know all of you have ADHD, I split the clip into 5 parts. You can skip a section by clicking the annotations or the links in the video description. In the first section you'll learn how to record new footage for the editor. That's very simple and shouldn't take too long. In the second section I will show you the basic controls of the editor. Most of these are already well explained in the social club itself, in the tutorial section there, but it's good to see those controls in action for better understanding. In the third section of the tutorial I will present camera techniques and the type of shots you can use for your machinima. This is essential for the look and feel of your clips, and there are a lot of common mistakes you can make. In part 4 I will show you some neat examples where you can use these techniques and get practical. In the fifth section I want to show you how to further improve your videos by using the footage in external editing programs like Adobe Premiere Pro. If you want to see some of these tips and tricks from this tutorial in action, I would be happy if you would watch my GTA 4 machinima Blood for Blood or any part of my series Good Driving, Bad Driving. If you have any questions about your project or my project, feel free to ask in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer and help you out. Have fun and enjoy the video. Section 1. Recording footage. First of all, you need to record gameplay. Duh, I know. You've got 2 options for that. If you press F1, you start recording right away. You'll see a little timer above your minimap that indicates how much time you have left to record. When the timer runs out, a new clip starts. This method is good if you want to record a scene that doesn't rely on coincidences or chances. For example, when you want to show Franklin playing with Chop's balls. The second option is pressing F2 once. This way the game caches what happens on screen while you play. Again, you'll see a small notification when it's activated. This method is especially useful for unexpected situations like funny car crashes or stunts, because you only record the stuff that's actually useful without cluttering your hard drive. You record the last 30 seconds or so by hitting F1 once. I recommend to always have the action replay activated because you can never know when funny shit happens in GTA. You can deactivate it anytime by pressing F3 though. Now let's take a look at the basic controls of the editor. Section 2. Basic controls. Now that you have enough footage for your video, you can switch to the editor by pressing Escape and choosing this button in the menu. The main menu is pretty self-explanatory when it comes to creating new and loading recent projects. The same goes for the clip manager with your footage as well as your video gallery that holds the finalized clips that you exported. A good thing about the new editor is the director mode. With it you can do things that you needed a simple native trainer in GTA 4 for. For example, you can choose and play different characters in single player mode. Also, you can use a variety of cheats. You should take your time and discover the possibilities of this game mode. Just get creative and play the scenes however you want them and whatever you like. Unfortunately, there are some limitations to this too, so if the director mode isn't enough for you, I recommend you try one of the many simple native trainers that are already out there for GTA 5. They might not work perfectly, but with it you can change the weather settings and the time of the day, and most of the time it's much more comfortable to handle than the director mode itself. These mods also will be improved all the time, so we can expect awesome additions soon. Now let's head into the editor by creating a new project. This menu allows for a good workflow you can use step by step. So first of all, let's add a clip. Now you see the timeline, and by hitting enter you start editing the selected clip. Here you can see the different tools I want to explain quickly. First of all, you scrub through the clip to find the moment you want to edit by pulling the start marker to that certain point. Now you can already see the menu pop up. There are a few presets for the cameras, for instance the game camera, which is cool for frag movies and such. Then there's overhead, left, right, rear and front. But only at the free camera setting it gets really exciting. Let me show you how to edit the camera first. You move the cam itself by pressing the WASDs. You can only move so far from the player until the game limits you. Hold down the left mouse button and move your mouse to aim the camera somewhere else. With Q and E you change the elevation level of the camera. Y and C are for zooming out and in respectively. Use the left and right arrow key to roll the camera around its own axis. Notice the little triangle? This shows where up is. Adjust the triangle with this little line and the cam is back in its normal rotation. If you screwed any of these settings up, you can reset the marker anytime by pressing left shift. You can also choose to make the camera automatically look at a certain target in your scene, like the player, the cops or other bystanders. This is cool if you want to show a car speeding by, like in this scene. But you can also choose none. Same goes for the movement with the target. This just means that the camera automatically follows the person you've locked onto. If you do this, there is an extra option. If you make it flexible, the camera moves around a little more, like it's strapped to a little bungee rope directly to your target. If you choose rigid, the camera always stays in the same angle to the character you're following. Both methods are very useful in the right situations. Now you can edit the camera of the first marker to your liking. Because when you're done with that, the next marker on the timeline will automatically use the same settings. This saves you a lot of time. Then you edit the second camera to where the pan should end. When you go back to the first marker and activate the blending, the movement of the camera should look pretty cool. You can also use those camera movements when you're locked onto a person and orbit the camera around him or her. The blend mode is a very important option because it allows you to make the camera move between two markers. If you choose linear, then this is usually a picture between fast-paced shots. There is no soft acceleration here, so sometimes it's good to add the blend easing because it makes the camera accelerate or brake slowly. It always depends on which target you are having. So if it's a fast accelerating target, your camera should do this too. The smooth blending is good if you have a turning point in the middle of a camera movement, let's say marker 1, marker 2 and marker 3. This allows you to make very professional shots as if you were filming with a dolly car or a camera stand in real life. I also recommend that you use the cycling shortcuts on your keyboard to jump to the previous or next marker. This speeds up your workflow a lot once you get used to it. Now the shake function has vastly improved compared to GTA 4. You've got your standard handheld cam that lets you adjust the intensity and the speed of the shake. This makes your scenes look really natural. For experimental scenes you can also use the presets for drunk, ground vibrations, air turbulence or even an explosion. You even get a preview while choosing one of these options. Very comfortable. I can recommend the air turbulence setting for high-speed car chase scenes in which you are close to your character. Then there is depth of field. This is a glorious addition to the editor. I recommend using the custom focus because it lets you choose an area or a character to focus the camera on. This gives your videos an extremely professional look, especially in close-up shots. You can also get creative by using the manual depth of field to make your character walk into focus first, like in this scene. The cool thing about depth of field in this editor is you can use a free camera and still lock the depth of field onto a character. This allows for interesting combinations. Again, get creative and play around. The next category is called effects and it's pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is choose an effect and play with the sliders a little bit. Cool thing though, you can make your footage black and white in here. However, I recommend saving this for the post-production. In general, I'm not a big fan of such effects like these. Or if you use them wisely and with a lower opacity. We're gonna get to that later on. The option audio lets you edit the sounds in the game. This is really useful because if you want to make a machinima, you usually use other music than the in-game tracks. So you can deactivate the in-game music. Same goes for the dialogue volume. If you want to voice over your own characters in the post-production to give them your own story and own voice, you can deactivate the dialogues here without losing the mouth movements. If you want to keep the dialogues from the game, you should turn them up a little bit because they tend to be a little quiet compared to the sound effects. The speed option is also very powerful because the game engine automatically adjusts the sound effects accordingly. You can create some really cool slow-mos in between with that. The positioning thingy here is also pretty cool because you can go to a very certain moment in your clip to set a marker for that. If you click on set thumbnail, the current image is going to be the thumbnail of this particular clip in the timeline of the editor. The transitions at the end can be ignored in my opinion because you can also do that later on in the post-production. And I insist again that you use the keyboard shortcuts that are shown in the editor. Get used to them, they make your life so much easier. You should always remember to press F5 because saving saves your life. By pressing escape you get back to the timeline and see your clip. You can now go back to the project menu and add another clip by placing it wherever you want. Then you go ahead and repeat like you did in the first clip. Section 3. Filming techniques. Now we're going to practice filming techniques. First of all, let me show you a few types of shots you should be familiar with. I want to make this quick without much fuss. First, there are long shots. Extreme long shots make your character look sad and lonely. Long shots are also called establishing shots because they show you the whole scene at once. You can clearly see where all the characters stand in relation to each other. And this is a medium long shot that gets in closer with your protagonist. The medium shot or American shot shows the character and ends approximately at his knees. This is good for standoff situations like in Wild West flicks. The medium close-up ends at hip level and is perfect for scenes with dialogues. The same applies to shoulder close-up that look like this. Then there is the close-up of a face. This amplifies the facial expressions of your characters. Since GTA is a video game and the animations are often in the so-called uncanny valley, so they are not perfectly realistic, you should not use these shots too often. The Italian shot gets even closer and shows only the eyes and nose. Sergio Leone style. The last shot I want to show you is the extreme close-up. Here you can show all kinds of details in the scene like a ringing mobile phone, a radio or spinning tires, whatever you like. The most important thing is to have a good mixture of shots in a video. The perspectives need to be motivated by the story, so it would look ridiculous if you would have a shaking camera doing a calm dialogue, for example. During a fight scene it looks amazing though. Keep in mind that less is more. Alright, let's move on to part 4. Section 4. Get practical. This was the theory, now let's get practical. A very easy method to make your videos like real movies is depth of field. You should apply this when you have medium shots or close-up shots so the background or the foreground get blurry. When you have long shots, this effect doesn't and shouldn't have such a big impact, but nonetheless it can look cool. A big part about movies are dialogues. Well, if your name isn't Michael Bay, that is. The most important thing here is the 180-degree rule. This means you should never cut a dialogue like that.
Good. But thanks. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just...
You could let me take you to dinner tomorrow night. Around 7 or 8.
Why not?
In the first episode of Scrubs they made that very mistake. Noticed anything? Character 1 is on the left side and the character 2 is on the right. When we cut back, character 1 is on the right too. This is very confusing for the viewer. So when you're looking top down on the scene, your virtual camera should never cross that 180-degree axis between two people. Except if your characters are schizophrenic, that is.
Wicked, crazy, fierce. No, not nasty.
The same goes for 3 or more people on screen. Since this is Grand Theft Auto, you surely want to include some car chases in your clips. This is where it gets really crazy during editing. You can have a lot of fun here because there's tons of angles and shots you can use. For example, you can use the following camera settings for chase camera. Since the camera is moving independently from the vehicle, the image is very dynamic. Another cool thing is to show a peaceful scene with a still camera. Then the car races through the picture at a 90-degree angle to the camera. This sometimes has a comical effect. Another surprising view is the bird perspective that makes your car chase look like the footage from a news helicopter. Just set up your camera like this and you're good to go. And here is the last creative perspective for you. Lock the camera to your character and place it down near one of the rear or front wheels. Then you increase the field of view by zooming out a little bit. Instant action movie shit right here. The new first person view makes it even easier to create a POV style camera. Please note that while recording in this perspective you cannot change the camera in the editor later on, so use it wisely. This perspective is great for driving though, because it drags your viewer into the scene very quickly. Nonetheless, you should use this scarcely since you want to create a movie look, not a game look. It would be better to have another player sit next to you and get into first person view, just like a cameraman in real life would. Another cool technique, the vertigo effect. This also works with virtual cameras. Let's say your character has a deep realization that he is royally fucked. For this to work, you'll need to set the first marker as the starting point. The zoom of the camera should be very low and you're close to your character. Then you set a new marker depending on how long the effect should be. I recommend for the vertigo effect to last at least 3 to 4 seconds, so it can unfold its full power. At the second marker you move the camera away from the character by pressing S. It's best to do so in a straight line. Then you zoom in to the maximum by pressing C. The character's face should have about the same size as in the first marker. Remember to activate the blend mode so the camera moves to the next keyframe. When you replay this section, you'll see what the vertigo effect does. Cool, huh? Next example, let's say you wanna make a scene look like it was filmed from a surveillance camera. You have to keep in mind that these cameras are usually hung up high in the corner of a room, so you should adjust the camera angle accordingly. Also, the cameras have a wide field of view, sort of like a fisheye lens. Add a value that fits your taste here. Then there's a cool effect you can apply to the video. This one makes it look like surveillance footage. Back in GTA 4 you had to be very inventive to create this kind of style. As you can see from those examples, there are a lot of creative ways you can make use of the simple tools in the Rockstar editor. Now let's move on to the next section. Section 5. Professional editing. Now that you're done with editing all the camera angles and saved your project, you can choose between a variety of options. You could further edit the footage in the Rockstar editor, add music and so on. To take things a step further, what I like to do though is to use the videos with the edited camera angles as footage for a professional editing program. So I simply hit export with the best quality options available. When the clip is rendered, I open up Premiere Pro and import it. You could as well use Sony Vegas or any other software you're comfortable with. So why should you use another program to edit? Well, if you're planning on uploading your machinima to YouTube, you can easily add your own branded intro, text overlays and other effects. Also, it is much easier to edit your footage to the beat of a song you love. But remember to ask the producer of the song for permission though. Or fuck it, you know, it's up to you. It is important that you edit your clips in-game in a way that leaves you a few extra seconds at the start and at the end. This helps you if you need to fill up a scene and make it longer in Premiere Pro later on. Also, the Rockstar editor always does this little thingy that the first frame of a new clip is darker than the original color of your clip. After importing, you should cut the clips into the original parts so you have a better overview about your project. These tiny bits in between camera setups are easier to cut out in a program like this. Then you start sorting them so they form a nice storyline. It takes some time until you get a feeling for the timing of your shots. You should be brave enough to make quick cuts when necessary, but also to let an image breathe if it's a good picture. For example, this is how one of my last projects looked like when it was done. You see, it gets very complex. So I don't want to go too deep into this topic because that would be another big tutorial. Nonetheless, I recommend you to dig into it because in such an editor you can work much more precisely if you want to give your projects a nice finish. Alright guys, that's all I have to say. Again, if you have any questions about your projects or my projects, feel free to ask in the comment section. I'm happy to help and I'll do my best to answer everyone. If you've come so far, I bow down before you. I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching.